A 3-day trip to Amsterdam in 2026 costs about $520 per person. But where exactly does that money go? Flights, hotels, food, transportation, attractions, and a few hidden costs that most travelers don't think about. In this video, we'll break down the real cost of visiting Amsterdam so you know exactly how much money you need for a 3-day trip. Let's start with flights. If you're flying from most European cities, round-trip flights to Amsterdam usually cost between 60 and 150 euros. Prices depend on the season, how early you book, and which city you're flying from. Spring and autumn are usually the best times to find cheaper flights. During these months, demand is lower and prices are more reasonable. Summer and holiday periods are more expensive. Flights can easily increase in price, especially if you book last minute. Low-cost airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, and Transavia operate many routes to Amsterdam and often offer good deals if you book early. If you're flying from outside Europe, prices are higher, but Amsterdam is still one of the most connected cities, which helps keep prices competitive. Now let's talk about accommodation. Amsterdam is known for being more expensive than many other European cities, especially when it comes to hotels. A budget hotel or Airbnb usually costs between 100 and 150 euros per night for 2 people. Mid-range hotels can range from 150 to 250 euros per night, depending on location and quality. For a 3-night stay, accommodation will typically cost between 300 and 450 euros. Location plays a big role in Amsterdam. Staying in the city center is more expensive, but it saves time and transportation costs. Areas slightly outside the center are cheaper and still well connected by public transport. Now let's talk about food. Food in Amsterdam is more expensive than in cities like Budapest or Prague, but still manageable with the right choices. A meal at a casual restaurant usually costs between 15 and 25 euros. Street food and fast options like fries, sandwiches, or kebabs can cost between 5 and 10 euros. If you eat out 3 times a day, you'll spend around 35 to 50 euros per day on food. Coffee usually costs around 3 to 4 euros, and a beer typically costs 5 to 7 euros. For 3 days, food costs will usually add up to around 100 to 150 euros per person. Now let's talk about transportation. Amsterdam is a very walkable city, and many attractions are close to each other. However, public transportation is still useful. A multi-day transport pass costs around 20 to 25 euros. Many visitors also choose to rent a bike, which is one of the most popular ways to explore the city. Bike rental usually costs around 10 to 15 euros per day. Now let's look at attractions and activities. Amsterdam has many interesting places to visit. The Anne Frank House costs around 16 euros, but tickets must be booked in advance. The Van Gogh Museum costs around 20 euros. Canal cruises, which are very popular, usually cost between 15 and 25 euros. However, many activities are free. Walking around the canals, exploring neighborhoods, and visiting parks are all great experiences that don't cost anything. For a 3-day trip, you can expect to spend around 40 to 60 euros on attractions. Now let's add everything together. Flights usually cost between 60 and 150 euros. Accommodation costs between 300 and 450 euros. Food costs between 100 and 150 euros. Transportation costs around 20 to 30 euros. Attractions cost between 40 and 60 euros. That means a 3-day trip to Amsterdam in 2026 typically costs between 520 and 840 euros per person. Amsterdam is not the cheapest destination in Europe, but it offers a unique experience that many travelers find worth the price. With the right planning, you can enjoy the city without spending more than necessary. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you understand the real cost of visiting Amsterdam, consider subscribing for more realistic travel cost guides.